So what is your blood pressure right now? Well, most people have no way to tell, and that's particularly dangerous when you consider that high blood pressure is one of the warning signs that a stroke or other complications might be on the way. So May is typically a time when our lifestyles become more active with the coming of good weather. So this month has been designated as a time when we should pay particular awareness to the signs of stroke and high blood pressure. So Dr. Guru Madam joins me to talk about what we can do to minimize our risks. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, did I say your last name correctly?
Yes, that's right.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Tell me a little bit more about why May is High Blood Pressure Awareness Month.
So blood pressure is a very commonly diagnosed condition, and it's yet very dangerous too. So the more you become active around the summer months, you need to be aware of blood pressure because the activities can change your blood pressure.
Right.
So while you be more aware of this blood pressure, you can have better control over it because it does have lots of health risks. That means it can make you end up have, if it is uncontrolled especially, it can make you end up have a heart attack, heart failure, or a stroke.
And I think you touched on it a minute ago when you said that it is a very commonly diagnosed issue. So I do think we kind of sweep it under the rug and don't give it the attention that it deserves. High blood pressure is something that really anyone of all ages can have issues from. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. High blood pressure, actually, we doctors screen for high blood pressure starting from the age of 3.
Wow.
So that means even though you don't have any symptoms of any high blood pressure, you could still be having higher blood pressure, elevated blood pressure. So we start screening from the age of 3. So that's why people say, I'm not sick, so I don't want to go to doctor. So we usually encourage people to go visit the doctor at least even once a year, even if you're not sick, because there are some screening tests that we do, and part of it is screening for blood pressure as well.
What are some of those symptoms of high blood pressure?
So unfortunately, blood pressure is considered a silent killer, which means you may not even have any symptoms. But some people complain like headaches, blurred vision, feeling lightheaded or dizzy, or some people even say palpitations and chest pains.
Wow, so that's what we need to pay attention to as we get into the warmer months.
Correct.
So talk a little bit more about some of the prevention methods that we can do.
So blood pressure has a lot of risk factors. There are some risk factors that you can control, which are genetics.
Okay.
You cannot control, I'm sorry. So there's some which you can control, which such as, lifestyle. Lifestyle basically means what you eat, what you do. So try to pay attention to what you eat, try to have a healthy, balanced diet.
What foods do we need to stay away from?
So high salt type of foods are very high risk factor for having uncontrolled blood pressure, because not knowing how much sodium is in the food that we consume, especially this canned food, because sodium is a preservative, so they have to add that sodium to keep the shelf life more. So they inadvertently have too much of sodium in it. If you're more dependent on eating canned food, that means you're consuming more salt than what your body can handle. So that means your blood pressure can go high.
Okay, so we need to try to get those fresh vegetables there,
Fresh vegetables and fruits, yes.
And as far as having an active lifestyle as a preventive method, just doing some exercising and talk about that a little bit.
American Heart Association actually recommends about 150 minutes per week of exercise.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Yeah. So if you translate that into every day, it's about 20 to 30 minutes a day.
Okay.
And they recommend doing like moderate intensity exercise. Moderate, I mean like you have to do like brisk walking. So that means 10 minutes into the walking, you have to be like a little bit short of breath.
Right.
Very mildly stressed.
Laboring a little bit.
Correct. Laboring a little bit. That's considered moderate.
So what is a way that someone can check their blood pressure or maybe keep tabs on it at home or on the go? Are there easy ways?
So right now, I think there are very large number of apps available on a smartphone, if you own a smartphone. So what you do is there are some Bluetooth-enabled blood pressure checking devices available, which you just connect it to your phone, and whenever you check it, it automatically goes in records into your app. So whenever you go to the doctor, just show it to them, but if you don't have it, best easy way is paper and pen. So anytime you check the blood pressure, keep a track of it, note it down, and if it is high, just go definitely see the doctor for help.
Definitely see the doctor then.
And I do want to reiterate that JNC 7 criteria, which are the evidence-based research which suggested guidelines for controlling blood pressure have changed just recently. The newer guidelines came up in 2017 November. So according to that, they decreased the threshold of diagnosing the blood pressure. What it means is, so earlier they used to consider anything over 140/90 as high blood pressure, but it's not the case now. Normal blood pressure is anything less than 120/80.
Okay.
Anything over that is considered as high blood pressure.
Good
So
to
that
know.
means you have to do intervention either by lifestyle changes, or if it is too high, definitely seek medication and seek the doctor's help.
Good to know. Well, Dr. Badal, thanks for joining us and giving us all this information. If you have more information, or if you want to learn more information, I should say, or if you need to book an appointment for your annual checkup to see if you might be at risk, then give CHI Memorial a call. Thanks for joining us, Dr.
Thank
Badal,
you.
and
Thanks
for the
for having
information.
me.
Stick around. We'll be right back on Let's Chat.